Hello, my name is Luke Ryan, and I have a Blu-ray problem. So for 2021, I've decided, and pardon the hoarse throat, I've been dealing with some throat issues. For 2021, I've decided that things need to change, and I need to start watching more of the Blu-rays that I've bought and have in my collection, but have never watched. So over the past maybe month and a half, I have been compiling a watch list on my Letterboxd account. And this watch list used to consist of films that I wanted to see and check out. I've now moved all those to a separate list, and on my actual watch list on Letterboxd, I have every film that I own on Blu-ray but have never seen before. And the total list comes up at over 1,000 films. 1,000 plus. Now, this does include short films, it does include documentaries. As far as feature films go, I think it's over 700. It's ridiculous, and as you can see behind me, the collection is in a complete state. I need to sort things out. I need to hold myself accountable, so that's what I'm going to do. And in this video, we're going to be taking a virtual look through my watch list on Letterboxd, and we'll see what films I haven't seen, and it should be pretty fun. So let's get right into it, check out my watch list, and hopefully I can kind of look at the number I have now, like how many films I have in my collection I'd never seen before, and in a year or two I can look back and see what my progress has been. And as I've said in previous videos, 2021 I want to really cut back on buying and focus more on watching. So over to Letterboxd. So here we are with Letterboxd, and hopefully the audio on this sounds okay because I'm recording this late at night, but we're at the beginning of 2021, and here's Letterboxd. CP of Willie Screeder just reviewed Shadow in the Cloud. Yeah, interesting. 2 stars. All right, so I have spent maybe, I think I already talked about it. I recorded the intro a few days ago, but I have spent a while adding to my watch list on Letterboxd. Now I have many lists. I have many lists. How many lists do I have? I don't know. Show 82 lists, 32 private lists, and 50 public. So I have many lists, and I think I recently, yeah, so this is my original watch list. This is just stuff that I threw onto there that I hadn't seen. That can go. I've watched that now since. Remove? How do you remove? Oh, we'll leave that. I need to go into the editing settings. I won't bother doing that. But these are all the films I've added to my watch list in recent years. And, you know, just very random selection. Just films I would like to see at some point. Some of them for more obvious reasons than others, etc., etc., etc. But I'm going to credit Vanessa here, who is a friend of mine and appears on many different YouTube channels. She told me that she was, I'm pretty sure that it was her idea that she was going to put every film that she owned on her watch list on Letterboxd. Either way, I just adjusted the audio, so hopefully that sounds a little bit better, but I'm pretty sure it was Vanessa who had told me about this idea of using the Letterboxd watch list for a collection. So that's what I've done. And again, I think I've already talked about this. I apologize for the shambles that is this video, but we're going to get into this now and click on my watch list. So here we have every film I own on Blu-ray in my collection that I haven't seen. 1,106 films. Just crazy. Just ridiculous. You know, I'm borderline ashamed and kind of impressed at the same time. I think it's like, that's a lot of films. But what is absolutely brilliant about this, and it took me a long time to add all these films. I mean, there's like 15 pages, 12 pages, maybe even 12 pages worth of movies there. So I think they fit about 100. Yeah, it must be 100 per page here. But yeah, it took me a while to do this because I also included documentaries, making of documentaries of films if they're substantial enough. I looked in to see how long they were and, you know, if they were, you know, directed in a certain way. Also short films and also miscellaneous pieces. But what's so brilliant about this, I didn't even know this before I added everything to this watch list. And I will say that the reason I wanted to do this and the reason my ears perked up when Vanessa was talking to me about it is the fact that whenever I go to log a film, you know, just type in whatever, hey, from 2018, I log it, I rate it, and it will automatically removed the film from my watch list. I just put my hand up and moved it across as if you could somehow see me, but yeah, so it'll remove it automatically, so you don't even need to keep on track of removing it from your watch list. It just automatically removes it and updates your watch list. It's very handy. So that alone for me was a great reason to do this, because I can now keep track of where the number is. And it's now the 16th of January that I'm recording this audio and probably posting this video. And I wanted to have this done by January 1st, because 2021 I want to really attack the collection. But I've been kind of holding back until I made this video. But now that I'm making it, I'm really intrigued to see where this number is going to be in maybe, I don't know, 6 months' time, a year's time, 2 years' time, 3. I mean, it's going to take years and years to get through all of these. You know, it's just, there's no other way around it. I don't want to just be powering through films and not really paying attention to them. I need to give everything its due, you know, attention, basically. So now what's really cool about this that I had no idea is you can sort this in so many different fucking ways. It's so handy. And I'm not sure if I have extra privileges here because I am a patron. I do have the highest account you can have on Letterboxd, and I'm more than happy to support the website. I've been using them for, I think, 8 years now. So it's been 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. We're now heading into my 8th year of using this website, and it's one of my favorite sites ever. It's fantastic. So more than happy to support. I was a pro member for a while, but I've now become a patron member. So I'm not sure. I think this services thing is maybe something that doesn't quite... I mean, let's see. Amazon Video, Great Britain, I'm not sure. Okay, right. So this shows me what's on Amazon Prime, I suppose. That's really interesting. I might want to research this and see if this is really... Obviously, it might be that there's like lots of different... Amazon Video, so it's probably it falls under a lot of different things. A Netflix thing would be very handy, I think. Buy, rental, stream. I think I need to add my own services. I'm not too sure about that. I'm really not too sure about that. Amazon, I'm sure there's all stuff you can buy. I'm not too fussed about the services tab, but even the sorting, I mean, I can put in by film name, so we'll probably start with like all the numbers, 2001, the year we made contact, 1900, etc., etc., 8.5, or we can sort by the release date. What's the newest film I have? It's the Total Access documentary, The Painted Bird, The Truth, Burning. So this is fun, just seeing like the more recent films I've got that I haven't seen yet. So it's just going to be, and oh, so my rating, well, that's not going to work because it's a watch list. I haven't seen any of these. Average rating, this will be interesting. Right, so Cowboy Bebop, I added that because it's on Letterboxd, so I'm going to, you know, log it at some point. But that is a series of television. There's not too many of those, but that's interesting that Cowboy Bebop is the highest. Decalogue doesn't surprise me. 12 Angry Men doesn't surprise me. Showa, There Will Be Blood. So this is like the Barry Lyndon, Lawrence of Arabia. These are like the best of the best. Chinatown, Wild Strawberries. Let's see, lowest rating. This should be, oh my god, I can't believe it. Star Wars Holiday Special. This is the only one that I have on DVD. So I think I just threw this in there for fun. But I have never watched it. I've never watched the Star Wars Holiday Special, believe it or not. So we got Elektra, one of the Gamera movies, Crunk Out. Crunk Out, what the fuck is... Oh, Knucklehead, right, okay. This is like a WWE movie. See, there's some films I just feel like, am I ever going to watch that? And it's almost like a challenge, you know. But you can see some of these, you know, maybe not the best kinds of films included in this lower half. Lower section. Film length, we can go by shortest. Now I do have short films on here, so that's going to be really tricky, but there will be a section up to a point where we will be looking at just shorter feature films, I think. Surely we can get there. Okay, here we go. This is probably like, yeah, these are probably like 90-minute movies here. Yeah, so that's like if I want to just find something that fits into my running time schedule, there's always a possibility to do that. Longest first, let's see. Shogun, that's a miniseries. Out One, Decalogue, Showa, obviously. And yeah, so these are kind of the longer slogs in the collection. this is just sorting them. I like having it when added, I guess. You can just see these are the most recent ones I added, which are from the Blu-ray set I just bought a couple of weeks ago. It's the BFI, I think it's the early women filmmakers set from BFI. There's a whole bunch of films, and a lot of them are, from the silent era. So you have like some of these here. And yeah, so I've just added those recently. We can just look at some of the other things, like the recent final additions to my Masters of Cinema collection are all included here. We have the Studio Ghibli films I haven't watched yet. We have all the Pixar shorts. I have 2 of those collections, so I included the ones I hadn't seen. The Fatty Arbuckle shorts from the Buster Keaton short set from Masters of Cinema. And yeah, so there's, and these are all like classics that are in the 1001 Movies book as well. Maybe these ones not so much, but yeah, very randomly added to the list, I have to say. But anyway, so I see I'm getting kind of like tongue-tied because there's just so many things to talk about, but I love this section here. Now, what you can do is you can hide the TV shows. So, we have 1,106 movies. So let's hide the TV shows and see how many there really are. So there's only 6, and it's probably like mini-series stuff like Shogun, etc. So we've taken it down to 1,100 here. Now we're going to hide short films. Big chunk off. We're now down to 891. So there's about maybe 200 short films in this list. And then we're going to hide documentaries. This will probably be another big hit. Yeah, so 764. There's about 130 documentaries on here that are both feature-length documentaries that are kind of, big productions in their own rights, and some that are just included as in the extras on Blu-rays that are fairly substantial. So I've kind of been very liberal with that. But if we're looking at feature films, it's 764. Now, the last time I did a count of my whole collection and the number of feature films I hadn't seen before, it was just under 500. So in 2 to 3 years, I've acquired over 250 more films that I haven't seen yet. So anyway, but yeah, so 764, and that's a really like handy way if I want to just get rid of the shorts, and it's just so great. It's just great. It's a really handy resource, and it's now there. I don't have to do anything but remove them, and that's really fun to look back on and to see the progress. And if I want to just, see that number tick down, I can just watch a bunch of short films and feel like I'm making some kind of progress, So that to me is really exciting, and I'm looking forward to chipping away. Now you can also go to decades. So 2020s, there's not much. 2010s, we've got 125 movies. And I think I can probably, if I want to just take out, go back again, I probably shouldn't have just unchecked all those, but we'll just look at feature films for the moment, hide documentaries, and hide television and short films. So we can now see how many films per decade. You can even go down to the year. So if there's like a specific year where you think, is there anything that, 2011, there we go. Super, super handy stuff. I really, really like this. I can go to my year of birth and see how many films I have. 2, just Hellraiser 2 and Hell Comes to Frogtown, a very hellish year suitable for the year of my birth. Connie's birth year, 9 films. And a very interesting selection there, from an Iranian film to French films, horror movies, I think Taiwanese and French, and Finnish. Is it Finnish? Pretty sure Aki Kaurismäki is from Finland. Yeah, so 1987, quite an eclectic year. I'm not sure even what this one is. Cobra Verde. Werner Herzog. Wow, so 1987 is quite a varied year there. But that's fun to see. Let's look at 1920s, one of my favorite decades. We got 37 movies there. And probably a lot more once you add in the short films and so on. In fact, let's just see, because I can. Let's unhide the short films. 37. And take the short films off. 49, yeah, I thought so. But another cool thing, which again, I only just realized like maybe 10 minutes before recording this, which is really cool. Let me just take these off again, which is not very fun for a video, but there you go. And I'm sorry if the clicking is annoying, but it is what it is. My mouse isn't very quiet. Genre. We have a genre page. So you can kind of see the kinds of films that I have out. What? Oh, wow. Okay, so this is going way... I didn't realize that the Decades tab was still open. So you can actually sort by... I mean, let's look at this. 1980s action films. Can we then, like, do the highest rated? Holy shit, look at that. We can do the highest rated action film from 1980s. We can probably even do... There's none in 1986, but you get the gist. Like, that's really... I love how specific... Oh, that's my rating. That doesn't make sense. The average rating. That makes sense. I didn't think that Into the Night would be number one there, but... So that's cool. It's just a really fucking interesting... I love lists, and I love stats and all that stuff, you know, so I could look at action films and look at the highest rated action films, or look at the longest action films, you know, so there's just like so many variables. I'll just put when added. But yeah, so we've got action, 137, adventure films, 87. Oh, that's a short film. That shouldn't be on there. Do I have... Okay, hide short films. And hide documentaries. Okay. 86 adventure films. Animation, this would be interesting. 39. Wow, I love animation. This really shows me some of the stuff I should be getting to. And then we can look at comedy. 193, that's a lot. I'm sure that's a lot of like old comedies as well, which we can see very, very quickly by looking at the release date. Yeah, we got silent stuff. We got stuff from the 30s there, 40s, 50s. Yeah. Go back to when added. Crime, 128. We got documentary, 128 documentary films. Drama, 492. I thought that'd be a big one. It's a fairly broad, genre as drama. Family is 41. Quite a few Ray Harryhausen films there, which obviously are there because I put in the Ray Harryhausen films in order through the box set, so that's why they're showing in a big clump there. Let's just go through all of them. Fantasy, 86. So if I ever feel like, you know, oh man, I want to watch like a historical film, here we go. I can look at it. I'm sure many of these films also fit into multiple categories, which is good. Not many horror films, only 61. Like that I could do 2 years of 31 Days of October and finish off every horror film I own but have never seen. Believe it or not. But then again, I don't see all the Gamera movies are here. Some of the Godzilla movies are here, but not all of the Godzilla movies are here, which is interesting. Because I do have the big Godzilla Criterion set. Nice little touch there with the blood dripping down. Musical films. 26, not surprising. Mystery, 65. Romance, I do love a good romance, 146. And I'm sure there's many types of romance films in that category. Science fiction's only 81. I thought there'd be more sci-fi films. See, Gamera is included in here, and more of the Godzilla ones that fit under sci-fi, it seems, than actual horror. Which, you know, I understand it's like monster movies. How do you really categorize them? Thrillers, 132. And then we have TV movie. Let's see if any fit into that category. 21. So The Firm, holiday special, obviously. Ocean Waves was it's a Studio Ghibli film that was made for television. And Decalogue, not surprised to see those films there as well. And then War and Western. 45 war films, more than I thought, and Western 22. That makes a lot of sense. I'm not the biggest Western fan, so yeah. And there's Armie Hammer there, who probably wants to eat you at some point. Anyway, that's pretty much it. We're gonna leave it there. That's my watch list. That's my Blu-ray collection in 12 pages on Letterboxd, and many films to enjoy, many films to not enjoy, and to perhaps consider ejecting from the collection. But yeah, I mean, it's a very, the thing that is interesting is that I buy a lot of stuff that's, I wouldn't say niche, but, you know, like European cinema, art house stuff, and then very modern stuff, then trashy superhero movies, and trashy rom-com movies, you know, just you know, my tastes are very varied, but also a lot of this stuff does come from Poundland. In fact, you'll notice this probably came from a Poundland stack, was Book of Life down to Blair Witch, Bad Moms, these are all like Poundland stuff, I think. So they come in batches of varying qualities and varying stacks. So you go from the Marx Brothers to stuff like, you know, where is it? Get him to the Greek. So yeah, quite a variety there. And I feel like I'm just boring myself continuing to talk, I guess. But yeah, it's fun doing these Letterboxd videos. I'd like to do more of them at some point, but it needs a strong kind of theme. And this was a good enough theme to make a separate video, I think, was to talk about my massive watch list. And so yeah, 1,106 films. And if we hide the TV shows, we are looking at 764 features. So I'll come back in maybe 6 months to a year, as I said before, and we'll see, you know, what's happened with the list. In an ideal world, I'd love to like make a video for every single one, and keep up with my Conquering My Collection series. But I think that it kind of it forces me to slow down a bit, because sitting down and making like a 10 to 20 minute video about every single film, I'd never do it, you know. So maybe I can do Conquering My Collection episodes where I just rattle through many different titles in one video, perhaps, and that'll give me a better chance to just, you know, power through a lot of these. But not to the point of, you know, powering through, not paying full, proper attention. But I'm excited now, because now I've made this video, I can set myself free, and I can really just go nuts and just get stuck in and just start watching some hopefully great films, and no doubt some half-decent films, and probably some films I won't care for, and then I can cull the collection a little bit and maybe keep the size under control somewhat. But we'll see. Time will tell. But yeah, if you want to follow me on Letterboxd, you can. This is my profile, RazorwireReviews. It's the same as my Twitter handle. And yeah, so you can see my page here. These are the films I've watched the first couple of weeks of January. My Own Private Idaho, Pretty Woman, Lost Weekend, The Warriors, Bridesmaids, Pinocchio, True Grows in Brooklyn. So I've been, and some of these are streaming as well, like Time and Back to the Future I actually watched on Sky. But yeah, so got my diary there. You can see my lists that I add to regularly, some of my bite-sized reviews that I don't do anywhere near as much as I should. My rabbit test review apparently got featured in someone's video. I forget who it was. People kept messaging me about it. I'm like, I don't know who this guy is. Brutal Moose, apparently. It's like, do you know about Brutal Moose? Have you seen Brutal Moose? I'm like, I don't know who that is. I'm sorry, but apparently this review was featured in one of their videos. People I'm following, and my activity, recent activity and ratings. And you can, well, let's just take a look at my stats while we're here. I suppose we could just take it to kind of an epilogue for this video. Could be a brief look at my 2020 in review. This is my overall stats. So 2,085 films in the past kind of 8 years. I've also added stuff, like if you go to my diary, actually, just quickly, I log every film I see, and right at the very end here should be, yeah, so there's some things where I know I've watched certain films in previous years, and then 2012 is when, no, is that 2012? 2013 was the year that I started noting down every film I watch. So I've added everything from 2013 like retroactively, so it's about, you know, almost 10 years worth of film watching. There is 2,085 movies and quite a few rewatches. That's my 2020 rankings, and that shows you, like, so I just love all these interesting stats. It's just really fun. I would recommend supporting Letterboxd and getting at least a pro account. I think with a pro account you can get pretty much everything. It's just the patron account is, there's not too much more, but I like to kind of, you know, forking over a little bit extra for them. We've got some of my rankings, some of the films that I've seen from various lists, and completed collections. Oh, I've not seen this page before. I guess this is certain franchises that I've seen everything from. That's pretty cool. My most watched movies. No surprise there with The Last Jedi. Most watched stars and I think directors, yeah. So, yeah, lots of cool stuff. My 2020 in review, because I can go by year here, which is kind of cool. And you'll see kind of only 202 for 2020. It wasn't a big year for me, even with the isolation and the lockdown. I didn't feel the motivation to watch lots and lots of films, you know. So the first film was Vada by Agnes. The last was Sweet Bean. Watched Groundhog Day twice on Christmas Eve. Watched Juliet. I love Juliet Naked. I watched that, loved it, and just showed it to Connie immediately. Portrait of a Lady on Fire I've seen twice, but I watched it a third time with the commentary. Again, just shows you the genres that you watch the most, the countries and the languages in which you watch films the most. How many are watches, how many are rewatches. This makes sense because I watched a lot of James Cameron films in 2020, so Arnold and Bill Paxton there. Cameron, no surprise, at the top with 9 films that I saw in 2020. They even go down to like art direction. I mean, who's really going down to art direction saying, ooh, which art director did I see the most of in 2000? So who's Andy McLaren? Let's just go real deep dive here. Wow, he worked on Avatar and the 2 Hobbit movies. Interesting. Which actually that kind of makes sense because I think they made Avatar in New Zealand. So that makes sense. All right, so we're going to leave it there. I'm really running out of steam here, but yeah, that's I love Letterboxd, and here's all the films I watched in 2020. And even a world map. I mean, look at that. Look, I watched only 1 Norwegian film, for shame. So there we go. That is it. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Highly rated films you're yet to see. All right, I get it. And highly rated with your friends. Very cool. And this is for 2020. So these are kind of pointing out some of the things in 2020 that were that I missed and didn't get to. So that is it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.
It's alright by me. Apart from the fact he throws cans of Carlin into a tree. Yeah, he's really cool. Yeah, he's really cool. But he's not quite as cool as you.